So this week is all about getting the last of the jobs done that need to be done before we can paint, because we're hoping that we can get a sandblaster here on Saturday and get the boat sandblasted and then get our first coat of paint on, which is super exciting. But we have a ton of small jobs to do before we get to that point. So we're doing all of those small jobs. I'm Taryn, this is Logan, and this is Max. Our life rarely goes as planned, and this story is no different. But we are determined to rebuild our beautiful steel boat, even stronger than she was before. And we're bringing you along with us. While Terry and Dennis were still here, we brought the arch up onto the boat to figure out where it was going to sit. So we're trying to get the arch back up onto the boat so that we can figure out where it's going to sit and where we're going to have vents going into the boat that all of our wires are going to run through. It's tricky because we got to get it up onto the boat, and that's difficult where we are, and also then we got to get it back off the boat because it can't be welded onto the boat because it's going to make it too tall. So we actually have to get it up here to figure out where it's going to sit, mark it out, make it taller, and then take it off the boat again. The taller part, I'm not sure how that's, like at what point that's happening, but we're making it taller because we hit our heads on it all the time. So, it's quite the conundrum right now, but we're going to figure it out, I guess.
This is one of my small chunks of 2x4.
Now I'm going to say right off the bat that I don't recommend doing this at home. I wouldn't say it was safe, and if we had a better way of doing this, we would have used it. But sometimes you just have to make do with what you have. On the bulwarks, right?
Yeah, but we want to raise it up.
Yeah.
To do it in the boatyard, we're gonna have to grind the paint off and
I know.
Weld a bunch of shit on. Like I can probably
I mean, you could lower it
go down a little bit and try and
yeah.
come in, but it's gonna be difficult just because of the angle of the machine.
Yeah. And because that thing's not very precise in its movements.
Not at all.
Yeah, I'm just thinking if we could figure out where at least like those wire vent things are going to go through the deck, then at least we could get like everything done that's got to be on the deck, right?
Well, basically the wires are going to come up through this back section of height, and that's what this, like there's holes through all of it, and there's fish line in there.
Okay, so it's going to be back here somewhere then?
Yeah. But I wanted them to be clear of the fair leads. And I want to have a direct line between the fair leads and the cleats so that we're not like...
It's so hard.
Yeah. But they can't be right on the outside against the bulwarks because water needs to run down the deck.
We were able to get the arch in a bit further, but still not really far enough to get it into the right place.
Inside on this one,
yeah.
Whatever angle that is.
Oh, great. Well, that's perfect then.
Okay, do you have a speed square?
I do.
Because speed square's got it all on there. We
Yeah.
just stick it on there, and then you can get the measurement.
Where is my speed square?
I'm just thinking of the ways I cheat.
The aluminum triangle.
On the boat,
I have no idea.
On the boat, I have a tool that will tell you the exact angle, but it's on my boat.
Oh,
I would have brought it if I'd known. Like people saying, "Well, my feelings are hurt." Well, that's not really a compensable injury.
And
So
like if you can imagine,
you're about 66 degrees.
Yeah, you can imagine where that
That's
is,
right.
And then it should line up with one of these.
So you knew what I was talking about. I didn't know what I was talking about.
I had no idea. I've never used one of these things before like this. I was like, oh, look at all those
This
fancy numbers. And
is
that's
one
as
of
far
the
as my
most
thought went.
amazing tools I've ever used in my life. That in a carpenter square, which you can, I only know a small amount of what you can do with a carpenter square, but
I'd say it's about 70 or 68, 69 degrees ish.
oh, that was oh yeah, right.
Say 68.
Close enough. You know, and well, the thing is, if you're within a degree or two even, you can beat on it with a hammer or pull on it. Let me check the Google.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do too.
Okay,
You
I'll
can
let
Google
you
it
do
faster.
I got it.
I'm gonna have a look at this and pretend like I'm doing something.
Hey, we got it up here, man.
Yeah, that was a pretty big deal.
You wanted to, I mean, you did great.
After we had the angle figured out, I did some fancy trigonometry to figure out how much farther forward we would have to have the legs in order for the davits to sit in the original place. We wanted to make the arch 7 inches taller. We need 7.4 inches.
If we do 8 inches.
If we go up 7 inches, we need a 7.4 inch piece of pipe. Diagonal. And we're going to move forward 2.47 inches, so 2.5 inches.
If you stay on that angle.
Yeah, to stay on that angle.
2 point what?
2.47, so 2.5.
2.5 inches.
Yeah.
That's actually really reasonable.
Oh, yes.
No, we can do that.
We're bad at this. That was
It's all on camera
embarrassing.
It's a
too.
cultural thing.
Generational thing.
Oh man.
Oh, sorry.
Shake and high
I'm
five
sorry.
at the same
I'm
time.
sorry. I'm your parents' age.
Oh man. And then just like that, it was back down again until we get into the boatyard before launch.
Today I will be making the stainless, I don't know what, I've been calling them J-vents, but it's basically just a couple of 90s welded together with some pipe on the one end, and that is going to be what we will be running our cables through the deck with. All of our electrical cables for lights, navigation lights, radar, solar, all that stuff. It'll all be going through these vents. I have to make them up right now, and then we can weld it all together. Yeah, so let's make them. So this is the original vent that was in the chain locker.
Woo! You got it? Let's see. Nice.
And it is 316 stainless, and we wanted to reuse it, so I've just cleaned it up, and it's going to be welded into the chain locker. This is the one that I made up. It is a short 90, and I didn't realize that I needed a long 90, or a regular 90, sorry. So I got a regular one to match this. Yeah, I guess you can see that. These vents are all 1 inch, and it's all schedule 40. So I'll make that one up. These are 2 sand pipes, and these guys will be welded on just like that.
So these drains were designed for dual purpose, allowing ventilation as well as a way of wires getting through the deck without having another hole in the deck. What are you doing?
Yesterday I made the rest of these pipes. So today we're just putting them in. Just drilled a hole in our boat again. And those are going to sit like that, but lower. And then this wire here will just run up through there. Once it's out of the way of everything. We can either make the top flush with the bulwarks.
Yep.
Or we can come up a little higher and make this flush with the bottom of here.
I think lower is better.
Down like this.
Yeah. For two reasons. One, less stuff's gonna get caught on it, and two, we don't really want to see it from the outside of the boat, so.
Yeah, that's fair. Hopefully that'll give us enough airflow.
Yeah.
I mean, if we don't have enough, we can always put one of those solar vents in the door.
Yeah, true.
Or something stupid like that, I don't know. Okay, so we'll make it flush. We'll leave them turned this way.
Yeah.
And should we follow the line of the bulwark? The line of the deck?
Probably the line of the bulwark. Because then there's going to be less wasted space. And again, I think it'll be less stuff getting caught, but I don't really know.
So, I don't really have a straight edge up here, but that looks pretty good, hey? Okay, so that's that one. So if it goes somewhere. Cool. And this one will be starboard. This one will be port.
So what's the next project?
Hinges. We have two sets of hinges for our chain locker door because we're cutting it in half. Not directly in half, but close enough.
Into two, anyway.
We're cutting it in two, so it will become two doors. We're modifying it so that it'll be structurally good, so it can bear a lot of weight. Basically, because we moved our windlass to the back of the chain locker,
There.
so that it'll drop down into the deepest part of the chain locker, so we don't have to keep flaking our chain every time we pull up anchor. So we're going to have it open just off the center, because that's where the chain line is. It's just to starboard. And we'll cut the door and get that all fabricated later. But for right now we need to get hinges welded on so that we can get them painted up, sandblasted and painted. So we just have to make sure that they're in a straight line. So I'll need my long square to put them in a straight line so that they don't bind when they open.
here?
We are putting in vents, I guess we're gonna call them. These ones won't really be vents, but they'll have the cables running through them for the solar arch. So solar panels, navigation lights, deck lights, radar, something else I haven't thought of.
Perfect.
These ones to be a little more inboard, but...
Alright, so that's about where our new arch leg is going to be sitting.
So then I think our vents should be back here a little ways.
Alright, so what do we have to make sure that's not in the way of? The fair lead and then the bollard, right?
Yeah, so we have to make sure we have a direct line in between the bollard and the fair lead, so it's not interfering with that. Yeah, so that'll be fine right there. We have to go down and make sure there's no ribs or deck beams, I guess you would call them, or anything right here. I have to go down and look, because it doesn't have to be like right next to here or whatever. It's going to be quite a bit further down. It just has to be like somewhere in this area and far enough away that water can run by with no problem.
What are you doing? Max, are you napping? Max, are you going for a napping nap? Yeah.
How's my hair?
Oh, beautiful.
Well, it's Wednesday again, and this is a really exciting Wednesday.
Why do you say that like a question?
By next Wednesday, we should have the boat sandblasted and have our primer on.
Yay! Woo!
So we have the sandblaster coming on Saturday, and if all goes well, by late Saturday evening, we should have some paint on the boat. Possibly Sunday morning.
Thanks so much for liking, commenting, and subscribing. And thanks to our patrons for joining us on this journey. See you next week.